just before I pass the mic on to Megan, Riverside alumni, and Caitlin, who are going to be the MCs, I just would like everyone to put away their garbage at the end, okay? There's lots of garbage cans. The caretaker has asked that we make sure we clean up after ourselves. Sound good? Good. These are bright. Okay, without further ado, should we get going? Yay! Give everyone cheer! Yay! Go. All right.
Hi, guys! Oh my God, I'm so excited to be here again. I do not miss high school. Yes! Okay. So this is the 10,000th annual spoken word, right? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, oh yeah. 10,000. Anyways, we're here to listen to amazing poetry today, guys. These people are so brave. Can we just give them a hand for being so brave to come up here? Woo! They got a dog. Okay, I'm jealous. Okay, so who here has been to a spoken word slam poetry thing before? Put your hand up. Oh my goodness. So you guys understand that when you like something in a poem, you snap. You're like, oh yeah, that's so good, guys. Oh, so yes. Oh, right? And then if you really like something, you're like, I agree. You know, someone's like, yeah. And when the judges, who I don't even know who it is. Yeah, can you just, okay, can you guys see them? Right there? I can't really see who it is. Okay, we got Miss Becca. We got Chilfito. I can see it right there. Chilfito! What? Joe Hall? Okay, we got Joe Hall. Oh, Thompson. Okay. Oh, it's all out of order. And then we got Henderson. Yes. And then Miss Thompson. Oh, wait. Okay. Anyways, before we get started, usually if you've been to a slam poetry before, we have a sacrificial poet. And it's me, obviously. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to perform a poem, and it gives the judges a chance to, like, totally rate me 5s across the board. And, you know, lets them relax, give them a second so they can breathe and just, you know, calm down before they share their amazing, amazing poetry. So before I get started, everybody writes a poem at once in their life, and we all know it's for a breakup. Everyone writes breakup poems, don't lie. You either write a breakup poem or you write a breakup song, so guess what? I did both. So, thank you. So, all aboard the angst train. So, this was written a while ago. I mean, not too long ago, because, you know, I'm still a teenager. So here we go. Are you ready for, like, angst? Yes. Lots of sea metaphors. It really is emo. Okay, matches my black nails. Okay. Good? Okay. It's got singing in it. I hope that's okay. Really gotta clear the throat. Okay, are you ready? Okay, I'm ready. Okay. My throat's dry. Okay, here we go. Whew. Okay. It's not memorized. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm totally wasting time. I feel so melancholy about the sea. I feel so melancholy about the sea. I feel so melancholy about the sea and the way it stares back at me. Drifting. Slowly I listen to the sound of my breath, in and out, out and in, motionless, tiresome, bothersome, regret, lonesomeness. I'm unhappy. Not with who I am or what I am, but I'm unhappy with him. Him, like a siren's call, I'm not supposed to listen or take part in parties that go till sunrise. Him, like the voice of a crying child that isn't yours. You want to make it stop, but it isn't yours to quiet. I can't do much. But I let myself drift in the water-like layer of my own insecurities. I breathe in and out, out and in. He's drowning. With the arms waving like a goodbye, I misinterpret his final words. So when they ask me how he is, I reply with, I don't know, but I bet he's happy. I take some puzzle pieces that don't fit together and make a work of art built off of misconceptions. When a boy on a bus says, it will always hurt you more when you're the one being forced underwater, I haven't slept the same in 80 days. Thoughts like tidal waves of what did I do wrong and what did I do right. I haven't heard his voice in over a month. I play old videos to catch sounds of his laughter through the muffled white noise of nothing. I think to myself, where do the fishes sleep? And I ask. But no one replies to the questions they don't know, but he knew. He already went fishing after his line snapped. He decided he could catch one better with his bare hands. It still hurts. I hope the fish he caught knows that she is beautiful among other things and that she deserves someone with softer hands than him, someone that will build fishing lines stronger with wire than just mere red string. For a fisherman, I didn't believe them. For when they say that you are what you eat, he too easily lets his buckets go empty. Listening to every fish's call to let me go, only throw your baited line to me, the other fishes wail with beautiful scales of glimmered innocence. It's not fair. To have been in love with a man who goes with the waves. One day his boat will sink under the pressure of not being him. So on the concept of water and fishes, my boat, named after him, now only has black paint scrawled over top of old titles. You can't get rid of names that easily. But one day, I will. I feel so melancholy about the sea. I feel so melancholy about the sea. I feel so melancholy about the sea. And the way it stares back at me. I just want to drift safely across the bottomless dark blue sea. Thank you. As you can tell, angst all the way. Thank you. So the judges will now, give me 5s or 1s or whatever. I won't be that hurt. So whenever you guys are ready. Are you ready? Okay, scores up. Oh, thanks. We got a 4.5. If you don't like, you can boo or you can yell random things. 4.5. We got a 4.5. We got a 5.4. Thank you. 4.5, a 4, and a 4. Applaud the poet, not the poets. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Tough crowd, tough crowd. Okay, so the first person to come up is, Raia Tires with, what does it say? Tires? With her poem, Rain, give it up.
Hello? Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna sing, but yeah, it's called Rain. Okay. The zippy zing of my polyester armor, my crown of defense self-bestowed upon my head as if a grave action was to be fulfilled. My nobles facetiously illustrated my task to me only to return to their deserving thrones built off the responsibilities granted by the morning bird. Deafening silence engulfed me before encountering the enemy. Breaking the barrier that burrowed and cocooned me in a bundle of warmth, I reached for the handle. Contact made the hairs on my neck prickle. By lowering my first line of defense, I encountered hers. The winds let out a wicked howl like she knew I was coming. She fiddled and twiddled her fingers, conjuring up a battle in her crystal ball, waiting patiently, silently, and sinisterly, only to watch me fall. The angels were crying today, weeping away their sorrows. What started as a single elegant tear fell ever so gracefully with a gentle whistle, transitioned quickly into ominous music. The tears were gathering rapidly, swirling into a storm, spitting on the tiny ants they looked down at. As an ant, I look up at the bodies of water, getting ready to swallow me whole like a dunk tank. Hesitation tickled the nation, and I was the #1 target of feeling this sensation like a gunshot at the start of a race, that moment when time slows down. Suddenly, everything is coated in molasses, and my purpose becomes clear. I darted to the steps, making a pitter-patter sound, slapping the ground with my feet as a sheet of gray sadness cloaked the sky, and I asked myself, where did the sun go? That mellow fellow who provided sunshine, laughter, and daisies, like sweet sunny honey and that bright color of yellow, who sang us tunes of summer and smelled like coconut sunscreen. But abruptly she swipes. I go from visualizing colors in chrome back to seeing things in fade, transfer, and noir. Hit by the storm of reality, I look down at my feet to see the boss level, her greatest line of defense. This puddle hides in the deepest, darkest corners of Noah's nightmares, and unaware of her molecule-sized soldiers, I just stood there while they snuck into position. The stingy, soupy, soggy moisture began to seep through the protective barrier I called my socks, slipped on to defend my fortress. They were no match for her games, beraying my base, reaching up to grab my feet, swallowing them whole, my toes being infected by the plague inside my shoes, and oh, that spongy, mushy, squishing sound I made with every step, the very definition of cacophony. Tainted by the horrors of the battlefield, vexatious in my own skin, I made a retreat, once again encountering defeat with the Mad Hatter, the puppet master, who once was my friend, but then again, now and then, she is the queen. Mother Nature, may we meet again.
I just realized this is very distracting. Okay. What, scores? Are you ready? Okay, put them up. We got a 4.5, a 4.5, a 4.5, a 5, and a, what's that? Is that a 5? Oh, and a 5! Applaud the poet. Okay, next we got 2 poets going up, so I hope both these mics, hello? Oh, perfect. Next up, we have Maddie and Nicole with 14 years old, not 14 years young. Give it up.
I don't know how to either. Testing. I don't think so. Okay. Are you really gonna take that?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it. Why wouldn't I?
It's a drug. It can kill you.
So what? We're just trying to have a good time. Learn how to have fun.
There's way more things you can do to have fun.
Whatever. We have something to say to you.
Remembering the day we met and all the money you spent.
Just to get me up out of bed with the rush of caffeine in my head.
Now the only thing getting you up out of bed is that idea in your head.
About how high you can get.
14 years old, not 14 years young, living your life like it has just begun. Sniff a line for a good time.
While your time is slowly being declined.
You call me for a ride or even a house.
I'm not your bitch, so get the cluck out.
Being high is your new sober. Could it have started any sooner? 14 years old, not 14 years young. You were my friend back in 01. Text me you're high when I'm trying to drive.
Tell you I'm disappointed. You ask why.
Why? Because you're always freaking high. Not off the greens, but off the white powder that goes into a line, and you consider that fine? 14 years old, not 14 years young. You used to look presentable, but now you look like a bum. You're failing school, which is really uncool.
While all of us are graduating in 2019, you'll be stuck here till 2023.
You tell me you're in trouble and grounded, I ask why.
You reply with no answer, just straight, I can't smoke anymore.
Is this really the biggest problem? I'm here struggling trying to pay my rent.
And struggling to feed my siblings, but you're complaining about not smoking.
14 years old, not 14 years young. I tried to help you, but you pushed me away. Not even a push, more like a shove.
'Cause what, I don't do drugs or smoke the devil's lettuce?
So let me say this. I'm done being the house you crash at because you can't go home under the influence.
I am done asking you to hang out for one day sober, but it was all I was asking for.
I can't stand knowing we had so much fun back then when we just ran through the rain for fun.
You know you've hit a cliff when you can't even take a day off.
Of something that's not even addictive. We know now it's the attention you're addicted to, not the drug.
You think you're cool, you know all these people.
But they're the ones who put you here today.
One at a time. It takes someone as talented as you.
To lose this many people in such short time.
You pushed all the people who ever cared about you away, and now you're trying to get them back. It's not as easy as it seems, hey.
14 years old, not 14 years young.
Okay, are you ready for the scores? That was like in sync, guys. I think they deserve a high score. Okay. Are you ready? Okay, go up. We got a 4. We got a 4.5. We got a 4. We got a 4.5. And we got a 4.5. Did you see how in sync that was? That was crazy. Okay, next up we have, oh my gosh. Next up, we have Olivia McDonald and her poem, Brace Yourself.
Okay. Do I just start whenever? Okay. I remember when the dentist first told me I was getting braces. The joy that spread across his face as he told me I was finally ready. Since then, I've had plenty of opportunities to get to know my orthodontist thanks to all of our one-sided conversations as his hands are. But let me tell you something. Braces suck, period. I get they do wonders for your teeth and all, but really, who invented this torture device? And couldn't they have thought of any other way? Let me just list off some of the wonders they do. First, they make it impossible to eat in public because everything gets stuck in them. And it's just a little bit embarrassing having to cut your food up into tiny little cubes. It's like being a toddler all over again. Second, the brackets are always getting caught on your cheeks. When they first give you the wax, you swear you'll never need it, but then you come back 4 weeks later just begging for more because of all the wires grating your mouth. Next, you can never pronounce S's or TH's, and it's always at the worst times that you mess these up. And you know what else? People always think I have OCD because I spend such a long time brushing my teeth. But does it really look like I want to spend 3 hours on my teeth every night? Flossing 5 times a day is not a choice. It's a must. And don't even get me started on the colors of elastics. I mean, there are so many of them. And it may seem like no big deal, but you have to choose wisely. You see, black, green, or brown can make it look like there's food stuck in your teeth. And white sounds perfect, right? Well, actually, it makes your teeth look more yellowed. Plus, it stains super easily. Honestly, it's utterly impossible to pick just one color of elastics for those whole 6 weeks. And those are just the basics. You also have to match every single outfit to your braces. Obviously, getting braces was a big deal for me. And having to come back after summer to debut them at high school, I thought my life was over. I could just imagine all the jokes people would make. But in reality, my generation is already full of so many metal mouths that nobody even noticed when I joined the club. My biggest fear had been everyone bugging me about my newly bedazzled teeth. Then nobody did, and that was way worse. Having braces during that awkward period of your life does nothing to boost your self-confidence. They're always showing those actors and models with the perfect teeth, but never how they got there. All I can really say is I've only had my braces for 3 months, 10 days, 21 hours, and 5 minutes, but I'm already counting down the days until I can embrace freedom and get these suckers off.
Two at once. No, I'm just kidding. Are you guys ready? You look like you're contemplating. Are you ready? Okay, scores up. Put them up. We got a 4.5. We got a 4.5. We got a 4. We got a 4.5. And we got a 4.5. These judges are the worst. Thank God I don't go here. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Next up we have Mackenzie and Sophia with No Does Not Mean Yes. Give it up! Okay.
I am a nasty woman. I am a sister, but the world has higher hopes for my brother.
I am a mother, and I struggle every day to explain to my children
that no does not mean yes. I am a daughter, and my mother worries about me when I am not at home because I am seen as weak.
I am a sexual assault victim, but I'm just a statistic, a number everyone views mindlessly.
I live in a world where the word menstruation is more cringy than the word rape, and where the word male means power, yet the word woman is a symbol of oppression.
I live in a world where degrading women is just locker room talk.
They say boys will be boys, but that has just become white noise because once that excuse is made, the problem suddenly fades. No does not mean yes.
I am not a rating. If 1 is the worst and 10 is the best, I am the 5 that is the wall that divides us.
Rape is not a game, and
I am not just another playing card.
Male does not mean power.
Woman does not mean weak.
No does not mean yes.
there's a ghost in here. Did you see that? Got it. Okay, score is up when you're ready. Okay, we got it. Oh, yeah. Chofito, we're waiting on you, bud. Okay, we got a 4.5. We got a 4 higher. Yes. What do you do? Okay, we got a 4.5. We got a 4.5. We got a. It's 4.5s along the board, Miss Thompson. Okay. Tough. So tough. Okay, next we have Sydney, right? Okay, thank goodness. Next we have Sydney with emotions.
Are these short enough?
I don't know. I'm an adult.
Same. I could use that one. Yeah. Is it like cord?
There's a ghost.
Here, maybe move the cord off. Yeah.
I could use this one. Blip. Blip, blip, blip.
Yeah, don't touch the dingle of death.
The dingle.
You got it? You good?
I think so, yeah. It all happened so quickly. The first time you saw them and you just, wow. Their appearance hit you like a tidal wave of emotions that you just couldn't quite react to. It's the small things that really solidify how you feel about them. Like that time when you poked their sides incessantly to distract them so that they'd lose that game. Or that other time when you said a flirty comment, just trying to test those waters, and they gave you this look that made your insides twist and turn as if you ate butterflies for breakfast. Or those other times where you'd sneak a look at them, or always try to find some way to sit next to them, not knowing they were doing the exact same thing with you. And that time when you thought you lost your chance with them completely, and then they asked for your number. It's the way that the stars light up in their eyes, contrasting the pitch black sky with bursts of color and excitement. Now it's in the way that their lips form a smile that looks like a half moon looking down at you proudly for all the good you've done and what more is yet to come. The way this person looks at you as if you are the best part of their world. They look at you with those shining eyes that tell you that everything is going to be okay. Their eyes say that no matter what happens, I will be there to catch you when you fall. And when the ship you're on starts sinking and the freezing cold water is dragging you down, I will pull you onto our lifeboat. But sometimes things have to get worse before they can get better. You both have to push through it when it looks like you're in the middle of an ocean with no flare gun and it seems like there is no hope for you two. Don't give up. Keep looking for the shore. And when the sun shines brightly on the sand of your newfound paradise, like the pride that you have for each other, it's okay. So push through. Look into each other's eyes and know that it's okay. Their eyes will say it all, telling the story of your future. They will say that you, at your wedding, will be the best thing they've ever seen. They will tell the tale of the way your children will play in the backyard. So spend what little time you have together. Spend it with each other like kids in a candy store. Go out. Don't stay holed up in your rooms on the internet. Fly. Fly like a bird whose broken wings have finally fully mended. Let the wind blow through your hair. Who cares if it gets messy? A mess is just a moment of ruleless fun. People don't live long, and ultimately, time is all you have. So how do you want to spend it?
Okay, you ready? Okay, put them up. We got a 4. We got a 4? Really? High? What? We got a 4. We got a 4. We got a 4. We got a 4.5. We got a 4. Really, guys? Just applaud the poet, not the points. Okay, next we have Jesse Cardoso with Infomercials. Applaud him. Woo!
Can't even see. Tired of being interrupted while watching your favorite television program by an infomercial? If you said yes, I have just the rant for you. Infomercials are a television phenomenon that I have a love-hate relationship with. They've been around since I can remember, and they never change. They always start with that stupid and sometimes funny black and white intro with the narrator going, "Does this ever happen to you?" Then it goes on to talk about how much you need their product. And to answer that question, you don't. Then the exact same end card comes up, and it's the same for every other infomercial. Like, I mean, who in their mind makes these? Who would use the exact same format for their commercial that just screams, "This is a useless product. Please do not buy me"? Who are these commercials marketed towards? I sometimes think to myself, there must be just some mastermind behind every single infomercial ever, just trying to numb our brains by watching these. However, I don't think infomercials are all that bad. There are exceptions. For example, Billy Mays. What would the world be without him? What would the world be without the Snuggie, the ShamWow? A cold, dirty, dark place it would be, I think. But then there's the half-hour to an hour-long infomercials, which make me question humanity again. They regurgitate the same point over and over, and that point being, this useless product isn't actually that useless. Have you ever watched one of these hour-long infomercials? I have. It all started on a warm summer night. I was reading, watching TV, and all of a sudden the show I was watching ends, and an hour-long infomercial comes on. Before I even had the chance to change the channel, I was already sucked in by its stupidity. I was in disbelief, anger, confusion, a little bit of joy. Long story short, I watched the whole thing, and I am now the proud owner of a slap shop.
Am I the only one that feels that poem on a molecular level? Because I do. Okay, are you ready? Okay, put them up. We got a 4. We got a 4. Oh, it's 4s across the board, Miss Thompson. Really? What the poet? Okay, whoop, whoop, whoop. Next oh my God, we had a conversation about this. It's Leah? Okay, next up is Leah with A Dance for the Fallen. Applaud it. Let's go.
I danced alone. Well, not alone exactly, but lonely. I kept to myself, quiet and reserved, unnoticeable. She danced alone. Again, not exactly alone, but lonely. She kept to herself, quiet and reserved, but I noticed her. I attempted to make my way to her, but the invisible force swept me away. Again. She was beautiful, perfect, unique. How could I compete with that? She danced with elegance. I'm average, nothing too special. Again, I am quite unique, but it's in my nature. I danced my own path, and she danced hers. Occasionally, our paths would meet, and we would dance, temporarily, until we were separated by the invisible force once again. I waited, and I waited, and I waited. I didn't see her for a while. Dancing with strangers, I was not satisfied. Day by day, we crept closer and closer, suspense and longing taking over. It seemed to last ages until we laced together, our dance intertwined, graceful, joyous, and free. My whole life, I had been alone, unsatisfied. Her whole life, she had been alone. But now we dance, and we fell, each one of us, unique in our own way, reaching the end. The impact was soft. Gentle, the end was here. We were, in fact, melting away. And I never saw her again that year. Maybe next winter. when we fall from the sky once again.
Okay, let's go. Give it up. Let's go. Are you ready? Okay, yeah. We got a 4.5, we got a 4.5, we got a 5.4. No, we got 4.5, we got a 4 and a 4. Applaud the poet, not the points. Okay, next we have Mitchell with Love Over Lame-O. Applaud the poet.
Yeah, I'm kind of short.
There you go.
Thanks. Across the hall sat a boy, a lonely boy, an outsider who spends his school days meddling on his own, a boy which the word friend does not exist, a boy which the word bully does. He was just another one of those guys at school, nothing wrong, just another victim walking along. Maybe it was his haircut, maybe it was his cheap runners, maybe it was the fact that his social anxiety made him an easy target for careless and hurtful antagonizers. Maybe it was that he was a victim of bullying who was recklessly treated like a daily UFC punching bag until the point where even his tormentors thought it was too far. He had no hope, no help. Brutally victimized by fellow schoolmates until he wound up like a dead corpse, until he made himself a dead corpse. Curb stomping and grounding this defenseless kid, letting off their so-called negative emotions, beating the ever-so-poor boy to a pulp filled with sorrow, hatred, and grief. Although his ruthless oppressors did not know, this boy had to go through wars every day, not just at school. With an abusive father, a dead mother, and a sister grasping onto what little life she had left with cancer, this boy has been through way too much so far. And never mind the orphanage until 9 years old and the reason behind it. When everyone fled, all that was left was what there was at the start. Just a boy who was described as the ugly duckling, the runt. A boy who wanted to be noticed, to be loved. This is just an example of what goes on every day to people all around, discriminated by looks, actions, or simply because they were their offender's first option. Happening more than physical abuse, verbal abuse takes the crown, with unthoughtful people criticizing others mostly upon looks. Even the helpful have no hope. We discriminate the weird kids day after day, calling them names and horrible words. And to what kids that have so little? No friends, no support, no life. By doing this, we somehow boost our self-esteem to make ourselves feel good, but it rarely works. We give negativity to others who take it without asking, with supposedly no difficulty. But there is difficulty. Giving this hateful omen makes it bad on both parts. We are a bucket collecting drops from a leaking pipe. Even though we empty ourselves out, there will always be more. They are sponges who supposedly soak up everything there is. Well, what happens to a sponge that has been shoved and busted with hate? It doesn't soak up anymore. Instead of passing pain around, we should evolve and work out, not to despise everyone. Unlike suicidal kamikazes in World War II, we should learn to love one another, not to take others down with us. We have to stop and think what they're going through, not what we're going through. Even though we may be having some tough times, it doesn't mean we need to pass it on to them. We have to stay united as a family, as one, not crumbling like a gingerbread house without icing. There's too much to live for rather than to die for, so let's not make it their last resort. Help each other, befriend each other, love each other.
All right, you judges ready? This one should be a toughie. Okay. We got a, oh, sweet. We got a 4.5. We got a 5. We got a 4. Yeah. We got a 4.5. We got a 4.5. We got a 4.5. Guys, take notes. Chofito knows what's up. Okay. Yeah, applaud the poet, not the point. Sorry. Okay. Next up, we have Hannah with something that's dear to all of our hearts, with TransLink Inconvenience. Applaud the poet.
If you're one of the miserable people whose parents aren't able to pick them up after school, then I'm sure you feel my pain on how inconvenient TransLink is. Don't get me wrong. I think that buses are very useful for when no one else is available to pick you up, but there are some things about TransLink that make me want to rip all my hair out. I've had many teachers throughout the years ask me why I rush out the minute after the bell rings. Well, not only do I want to get out of school as soon as possible, but I have no time to spare because my bus comes 10 minutes after the bell. I love more than anything having to rush out, which is quite a long walk if you ask me, but by the time I get there, I'm already half dead. Well, couldn't I take the next one? It doesn't help that the one bus I'm eligible to take comes every 30 minutes, and I have to sit on that bus for 40 minutes anyways, so missing my first one isn't really an option. And how convenient would it be to run as fast as you can to the bus stop, only to find out that your bus isn't in service? Oh wait, I can't tell you how many times that has happened to me. Is it that hard to send another bus, or do you enjoy torturing your passengers by making them stand in the rain for an extra half an hour? To make matters so much worse, the fact that my friends have a million different options and all their buses come every 10 minutes or so just makes me feel like the luckiest girl in the world. How is it that I, of all people, get stuck with the busiest, loudest, slowest bus in the entire world? A few years ago, getting on the bus was so much easier if you had your little packet of tickets. But no, TransLink thought it would be beneficial to discontinue everything and start selling compass cards. The amount of times I've lost my card, or even worse, run out of tickets and not realize it until I was getting kicked off the bus is ridiculous. And this leads me to my next point, mean bus drivers. I don't understand. Their one job is to drive people to their destination. Why are most of them so grumpy about it? Is it that hard not to scowl at everyone getting on the bus, or maybe saying hi back once in a while would be great too? I don't know if they're not clear with the procedure, but if someone pulls the yellow cord, it means they want to get off at the next stop. So driving past it isn't really helpful for anyone. Can I please comment on the fact that some bus stops are so close to each other it's unbelievable, while others are so far apart I swear there's a kilometer in between the two stops. So please, do your job, drop us off at our stops, and we're all happy. Can we also talk about the types of people on the bus? Out of all the things I hate about TransLink, this is the worst. My personal favorites are the ones who see you getting on and discreetly try to put their bag over the seat. That's great. Thank you so much for taking up the only free seat on the bus. How convenient. I also love the people who yell across the bus and think it's okay to have a full conversation while everyone else is trying to get a bit of peace. No, please, continue your conversation. All the rest of us are having a great time hearing about how you got your new iPhone 7 yesterday and already dropped it within 12 hours. But the worst kind of people you see are the ones who decide to block the door. Half the seats on the bus are empty. Why are you standing directly in front of the door when you're not even getting off? Even when you try pushing past them to get out, they refuse to move. When I finally get off, I take a deep breath and know it's a miracle I got off alive. TransLink is great, but sometimes I'd rather walk the 2-hour walk home instead of having to suffer the bus.
But hey, the new Evergreen line. Woo! Okay. Oh, by the way, guys, if you really do like something, you know you can snap. I know it hurts your fingers, but you guys can just be like, wow. I was over there. You heard me. I was like, yes! It was really intense. Okay. Are you ready? Okay. We got a 4. Really? We all feel this. It's a 4.5, a 4.5, a 4, a 4, and a 4. Applaud the poet, not the points. I'm going to get this wrong. It's Athena, right? Okay, next is Athena. And with her poem, oh my goodness. With her poem, Frustration, applaud the poet! Okay.
Frustration. Life is full of frustrations. You get frustrated when you can't finish something to your desired goal. From frustration and mere irritations to frustration and limitations or not even getting the right explanations. Frustration, like being stuck in the mud. Frustration, having your hands tied. Frustration can lead to depression. You can't get out of a deep, dark hole that you've built up. You feel as if you're spiraling down and you're about to collapse. You can't take control of yourself feeling down and stressed. You feel like giving up and leaving your goal. My advice, never give up. Even if you're being pushed down, don't let frustration take over. You put in so much effort towards something. Your expectation for the outcome ends up not being what you imagined. You feel abandoned. You feel like you're being commanded to stop. You're frustrated with yourself. Little kids get frustrated when they can't solve a puzzle. You get frustrated when the internet crashes. When you're stuck in traffic, waiting for that light to turn green. You've got places to go and people to see. But does that really matter? There's kids in Africa frustrated with using water bottles for shoes, walking hours on end for dirty water. They all feel the same frustration as you. Frustration leads to anger, loss of self-confidence and self-esteem, quitting and giving up, as well as stress and depression. You try and try again. You can't accomplish your goal. You can't get to what you hope. No matter how big or small the goal may be, you need to alter your way around the blockage. Don't feel as if you're being held hostage. You know your own knowledge. Frustration is a universal language, one that we all speak, and although not physically visible, has the power to stir up a storm in your emotions. Our vision of what we want is clear. However, life doesn't look like we want it to. Your vision may include a collision. Make a decision with great precision to know that things don't just come naturally to us. We weren't born walking or talking. It all came with a little practice and concentration. Our brains like to wander into the future and picture our dreams. Just because you picture it and dream it does not mean that it necessarily will happen. There are limitations. Frustrations need patience and the right foundations to gain motivations. At times, learning something new causes frustration, and it is difficult to deal with. Even though frustration is not the best thing to manage and deal with, it can shape you into your future self, help you learn your boundary points and what you can and can't handle.
That was great. Okay, are you guys ready? Okay, put them up. We got fours across the board, Miss Thompson. Applaud the poet, not the points. Okay. Whew. There's a lot of names crossed off here. Next up, we have Naomi with cancer. Applaud the poet.
The day, the one and only day that my life evolved, transformed, and tore apart the stained scales that were concealing my eyes from perceiving the true definition of our universe. The day of August 20th, 2013, I was reminded, restrained, and remodeled into the individual that I am today. The day my perfectly and most certainly beautiful princess was diagnosed with the fatal and most shockful disease, cancer. What is cancer? A disease the old, bold, poor, sick, ugly, and the cast down get? Wait, no, let me reinterpret that. You may think the clowns with the frowns are the only ones who drown. But no, you're wrong. Cancer is more than just a sickness. It is a disease that multiplies, revives, and devours every living part of a human. You may try to decline, which I really doubt will refine, because together we unite and we try to fight. You may have heard of the saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but bit by bit, as the surgeons gash, slash, penetrate, and pierce, your whole world disappears. You feel lonely, like you're in a small box all by yourself. But know that you are not alone. Every day, millions of people demolish, conquer, and fight this disease. Some may lose, like my little cousin, and some may fight until they see the light shine through. Although many defeat and demolish the darkness of this disease, they are left with a scar that reminds them of the horror and terror when they look through the mirror. You are better than that. You are here today because you fought. You came through the war like a hero. Many will not understand the pain and sorrow you went through fighting your battle. Or maybe they will never understand the reason that you have that scar is the reason that you live today. Metaphorically speaking, scars are our beauty marks that reveal the verifiable potential, the true talent that shines within our challenge. You may think you're worthless, powerless, or even colorless, but believe me, you are the reason that many of us battle today so that we can help others find hope, love, and strength, just as Terry Fox once did, and his dream still goes on today. You know, Terry Fox once said, I'm not a dreamer, and I'm not saying that this will initiate any kind of definitive answer or cure to cancer, but I believe in miracles. I have to. Thank you.
Okay, judges, when you're ready. Are you ready? Okay, put them up. We got 4.5s across the board. Applaud the poet, not the points. Woo! That's intense. Okay, next up we have Izzy with I Met a Girl. Applaud the poet!
I met a girl at a sports game. Her hair was always a little greasy because she washed it too much, and yesterday the last thing I'd ever want to see was her face. But these days I wish she'd never die, because while death scares you, what scares me is not dying. Could you imagine being here forever? As people, we give what we got.
But not all, that's a lot. We expect more than we take, and we take what we want, and we surely don't know what we have until it's gone. But I met a girl at a sports game. She called me pretty, but the word pretty was foreign to her because she never said it to herself. I've grown up, at least a little, since I was 8 years old, and I do see the world differently. That's what I'm told. It's quite a bit smaller than I had first thought, but I'm pretty much used to being taller than not. I met a girl at a sports game, and she was taller than me, at least in her mind. One time I picked a flower for my best friend, and I burned the end and I placed it in her hand. She held it for me while I picked more, and it took only 4 flowers to burn a me-sized hole right through her palm and into the floor. I met a girl at a sports game. She burned candles in her bedroom to distract from the smell of her dad's cigarettes. Bring us back to grade 6, before her break that's meant to fix what I never felt was really broken. I was her number 1 that she replaced before I was done, and sometimes I ask myself, what did I have? I had her mean jokes and her piercing laugh, and I had her anger problems on top of mine. I worried that she was going to tell everyone I knew things that weren't true, and I spent more time explaining myself than I did remaining myself. I took what I wanted, and I didn't look back, but I met a girl at a sports game. Her hair was greasy because she didn't wash it enough. I called her pretty, but she didn't believe me. She was small, and she acted like it too. And I was never allowed to burn candles in her bedroom because I had already left her in ashes.
All right, judges, do not fail me on this one. This is my favorite one. Do it. We got, really? We got a 4.5 higher. We got a 5. Woo! Yeah, we did. We got a 4.5. We got another 5. Woo! Yeah, we did. And we got a 4.5. Applaud the poet, not the points. All right. Next up, we have Isabella with equal. Applaud the poet.
Hello. Okay. The other day, after school, I got into my mom's car and turned towards the back seat to see my brother with tears in his eyes because a boy in his kindergarten class was insulting the melanin that found itself in his skin. His teary chocolate eyes stared into mine. Do not tell me that racism is not alive. In the 7th grade, people started determining what I could or couldn't do based on my gender. My mom always told me that I was capable of anything, but the boys in my class told me otherwise. They told me that this was only possible if I was placed in a kitchen. Do not tell me that sexism is not alive. And it's hard for me to feel alive if day by day people are being discriminated against because of something they can't erase. Each day brings us a new hate crime, I hate crimes, I hate these crimes, when will they stop? November 9th, the day that made me question the hope that I had. November 9th, 2016, the United States elects a racist and a sexist as president. Make America great again, that's his promise, but America was never great. Equal. One step closer to great. Unfortunately, not one place in this world has achieved equal, and it's hard to find hope if this many people believe in the torturing of others. Where do I stand? Race, religion, class, these are the things that separate us, that put us against each other, that make me more and more weary of this world. Because when you're a teenager, the world already feels like it's ending, but being a teenager today just means you're among the women, people of color, people of the LGBTQ community, Muslims, and immigrants that all feel the exact same way. Between the world and me is chaos and injustice, and all I want is equal. Is that too much to ask? Is it too much to ask to look beyond my complexion? Is it too much to ask to not be defined with what I was born with? Is it too much to ask to want to change the ways of this world?
Okay, judges. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! We got 5s across the board, ladies and gentlemen! Woo! Oh my goodness! It's not even my poem and I feel giddy. Okay, next up we have Addison with anxiety. Yes? Okay. Anxiety is applaud the poet!
Anxiety is like that one annoying friend. You know who I'm talking about. In fact, I bet you started thinking about them the second after I said that line. You're welcome. Anxiety is that feeling you first got when you thought of that friend, and hopefully it wasn't me. That irrational dread, not yet. I was having such a great day. And then you came. And you know that once they're here, they're never gonna disappear because for some reason, you are their favorite person? And if you're an introvert like me, you know that annoying equals clingy, clingy equals stress, and yes, I'll be the first to admit that anxiety and stress go neck and neck, and there's a fine line. Although I haven't found it yet, I still have yet to discover if it really just applies to me or if it's really just something else. But don't worry, guys. I swear, there's a positive side. Or maybe it's just wishful thinking. I'm honestly not sure anymore as I stand neck deep in this puddle of quicksand that I've created for myself every night trying to get that one more thing done. And I add quotation marks because if I am being true to myself, I know that it's never just gonna be one more thing. Because one thing leads to two, and two leads to three, and three leads to four, and at the end of the night, I'm lucky to get any sleep at all before I fall into this inevitable darkness of my thoughts. But anxiety is not like your best friend. Let's talk about them for a second. In fact, I can nearly classify them as the polar opposites of anxiety because they never make you feel stupid. You overthink your decisions, your fears, they eat you awake, your doubts become as quiet as a mouse because they make your annoying friend go away. They are your rock. And if your next thoughts are not how it's true, then maybe you're thinking about the wrong person. Because anxiety, it's like your mean friend. You know who I'm talking about. In fact, I bet you started thinking about them the second after I said that line. I'm sorry. Anxiety is the reason you decided to keep that friend. Every mean comment, every lie told the tiniest seed of possibility that everything said could be true. That doubt that comes along with a drought of rain that you willingly stand under waiting for someone to offer you their non-existent umbrella while feeling sorry for yourself. And every time I am told to stop worrying about it is like having a piece of myself being ripped out. Because it's just so easy, right? But anxiety, it's like a light that you can't turn off because it's always just stuck on. But no matter how much I try, it's still what keeps me up at night. My grades, my deadlines, it's all just stress in my eyes. But it's just so easy, right? Because anxiety, it's really all just a lie. So why can't I turn it off?
Okay, judges, are you ready? Dun-dun-dun-dun. We got a 4.5. We got a 4.5. We got a 5. We got a 4.5, and we got a 5. Woo! Got the point, not the points. All right. Next up, we have Quinn or Jeffrey or Quinn. We have Quinn with "Race is not a feeling." Applaud the poet.
Race is not a feeling. Blacks, Asians, white people are all common words used among the people that are too ignorant to see human beings for what they are and not for what they look like. Racism, a word that defines these people and makes them stand out in a bad way. Obama once said, just because people are taught not to say nigger in public doesn't mean that racism doesn't exist. Racism is something that we all experience, and it gives us a terrible feeling. A feeling that we don't belong. Even though we're all the same, we feel the same way, and our brains operate around the same feeling, the feeling to belong in a society that works so strong. And when I say strong, I mean strong against us. When we get pushed down, we push back. Racism does not matter your age or if you're understanding the words that are being said to you, but deep down, you know it isn't right. I first experienced racism at a young age in elementary school. It felt terrible, like it was my fault for looking this way. Should the world really be this cruel? You, stinky black person. Ah, black person, are you gonna steal that? And you have no idea how many times I've walked into a middle school dance, and when the lights went off, someone said, Quinn, where'd you go? My mood would go from this to this. But even though I was laughing it off in my head, I was squeezing my hand into a fist. After a racist remark is said, there's nothing you can do to heal the damage that you've just dealt. When I was in school and someone drove me with a black felt and I asked why, and they said, I can't see anything on you. Even after the teacher got mad at them, they couldn't deny the racist remarks that they had applied as brutal force like a wrecking ball. Even at the mall, many people have racially profiled me as if I was any less of a person of them, or I was a thief without stealing, or a human without feeling. But the worst of all, it doesn't just happen to me, it happens to us all.
Yep. I'm not Megan, but let's see the scores. Oh God, it is hard to see up here. Okay, we got a 4.5, a 4.5, a 5, another 5, and a 4.5. And, okay, so unfortunately, because we've actually gone through almost everybody really quickly, we're going to have to take a break right now. Awesome. Woo! On the barrel bag.
Get it? Dog nose?
No, I did get it.
Okay, good.
No, I was, what are you talking about? I don't understand.
Oh, La la la.
Jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell swing and jingle bell ring. Jolling and blowing and bushels of fun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell. I got jingle bell rock. Jingle bell swing and jingle bell.
Can I stand here and just like, okay. Wait, before I go, move this mic, because that mic's really quiet.
This one?
Yeah, it's quieter. Like.
Yeah, I know it is.
Hello.
Actually, it's not. Okay, I forgot to tell. Who are the remaining people?
There's like 8.
Me?
Okay, so
Me, her.
Okay, wait. Who's the people who haven't gone yet? Okay, and then Molly. Quick thing, because we totally didn't say anything before. You have to like project into the mic or nobody can. I totally didn't say anything.
Like this? Wait, Megan.
Pepperoni.
Like-
but you actually have to like.
Okay.
If you talk loud, you'll hear it. You don't have to like yell, but you can be like, "Hi," you know. Talk.
Just don't do this.
Okay, how about this? Is this good? Like this? Okay.
Testing.
And then
1,
wait.
2, 3.
No, really, just project it.
Really loud. No, just
so nervous.
You just gotta get Rita in there, Haley. Do not put your mouth on the mic. See, look at how
This
far
is
away
how I
I
was
am.
talking into
And you
it.
can hear me, but that's because I'm loud.
Remember that guy you walked by?
Beauty.
You can't even hear me.
Oh, I can now.
My voice is so quiet.
The thing that bugs me is that they didn't use Sharpies to fill in the thing. So if it was a black Sharpie,
When I started talking, I got so scared. Like, because I couldn't hear myself.
Like this, I like this mic better. This one works better.
Hello.
I'm gonna use this mic.
Beauty.
Hello. That one's my like louder. I like this one. Wait, where did I go on?
I was just in the middle. Leaning.
Because it's great to have your voice heard. That's what I always think about. I don't even, you know when they go, oh, picture everyone naked? No. What I literally do is you phase your eyes out over there and you can't see anybody when the thing goes black.
I don't know. This is what you do.
You can't see anything.
You go like this.
Hate.
So, yeah.
Hate builds up.
Hate my life. Wait, hate builds my.
Is that in Comic Sans?
Did you do it in Comic Sans?
Sans!
Yeah, it's my
Yeah.
favorite.
Oh, yes.
It's my favorite font. I'm sorry.
Do you know that Comic Sans was created to be the ugliest font?
Why? I love it.
Comic Sans isn't even threatening.
No.
It's
It's
like a
happy.
cat trying to run like
It's happy.
No, Comic Sans is literally the.
Can we go to the washroom? Comic Sans
Yeah,
is
you can go.
fantastic.
Whatever. Just be here before the next block
Okay,
starts.
I'm gonna practice.
Comic Sans.
Do not practice into this.
Why? That's the good mic.
I know, but. Okay, wait. Oh, you mean projecting? Okay, just say random things. Don't say your poem. Don't spoil it.
Which no, I don't like that one. How far away is it from my mouth?
Go to the bathroom.
A-E-I-O-U, A-E-I-O-U. I can't see anything. Like, I don't even know who's over there. Hello.
I mean, I don't think it's actually the point, but it's helpful.
Whoa, I did not see you move that.
I like to make short jokes.
I can't see anything. I have to pee really bad, but I don't want to go.
It's a good thing.
Look at my eyes.
I have a couple jokes I want to say. Just like say all my Christmas jokes. Puns. Stand-up comedy.
I need to practice. Oh. Wait a second. This mic is the better mic.
Oh, we're not saying anything. What are you doing? How I drop them to you. No, look at my face. I was doing the same thing as you.
What do you call a boomerang that doesn't come back?
I was in it too. Can I come?
Wait, Athena, get in.
Okay, one of those have to be.
Airdrop them.
Can you send those to me? That's from my. Okay.
Oh, that was so cute. Can you airdrop those?
Jokes.
You know, walk up here, tell a couple short jokes, and then leave. Quick, any more jokes?
Welcome to Spoken Word.
What do you call 99 bunnies walking in a line? Backwards. A receding hairline. Kill me.
Just sing the ho 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 song.
How does it go?
I don't know. Stand there like this. I made it when I was okay.
Hello? Hello?